The heading Introduction to Ava's Identity serves as the foundational entry point into understanding Ava as a complex individual, not merely a demographic statistic. It's about establishing her unique personhood, shaped by a confluence of inherent and lived experiences. This concept emphasizes that Ava's identity isn't a singular, monolithic characteristic, but rather a dynamic interplay of her age, race, gender, and the personal narratives that arise from these intersections. The significance of this point is paramount because it immediately counters any potential for reductionist thinking. Without a proper introduction to her identity, Ava risks being viewed solely through the lens of 22-year-old black woman, which, while accurate, is incomplete. This heading ensures we approach her story with nuance, recognizing that her experiences are distinct from those of a 40-year-old black woman or a 22-year-old white woman. It sets the stage for exploring how her specific identity informs her perspectives, challenges, and triumphs. For example, Ava's identity as a 22-year-old black woman might manifest in her navigating the job market. She might encounter ageism from older colleagues who doubt her experience, while simultaneously facing racial bias in hiring practices that disproportionately affect black women. Another example could be her engagement with social media. Her feed might be a space for connecting with other young black women sharing similar experiences, but also a platform where she confronts microaggressions or stereotypes unique to her demographic. Many sociologists and psychologists support the idea that identity is multifaceted and intersectional. Kimberly Crenshaw's theory of intersectionality, for instance, argues that various social and political identities combine to create unique modes of discrimination and privilege. This directly supports the need to introduce Ava's identity comprehensively. A potential challenge or controversy lies in the risk of over-essentializing identity. While crucial to acknowledge, there's a fine line between recognizing the impact of identity and reducing an individual to a set of labels. Some might argue that focusing too heavily on identity can inadvertently reinforce divisions or stereotypes. However, the intent here is to understand, not to categorize rigidly. This initial understanding of Ava's identity profoundly influences every subsequent aspect of her story. It will inform discussions about her career aspirations, her relationships, her mental health, and her engagement with society. For instance, her identity will shape the specific challenges she faces in healthcare, the cultural touchstones she relates to, and the support systems she seeks out. It's the lens through which all other elements of her life will be interpreted, ensuring a rich and authentic portrayal. Ava is a 22-year-old black woman. This heading serves as the foundational demographic and identity marker for our subject, Ava. It's not just a simple description, it immediately establishes her intersectional identity, which is crucial for understanding her experiences, perspectives, and the unique challenges and opportunities she might encounter. The significance lies in recognizing that black woman is not a monolithic category, but rather a lived experience shaped by both race and gender, often leading to distinct societal interactions, systemic biases, and cultural influences. For example, Ava's identity as a black woman means she may face the double bind of both racial and gender discrimination in professional settings. She might be overlooked for promotions due to unconscious biases against women, and simultaneously experience microaggressions or assumptions based on her race. Another example could be in healthcare, where black women often report feeling unheard or dismissed by medical professionals, leading to poorer health outcomes for conditions that disproportionately affect them. This identity also shapes her cultural experiences, from hair care routines to community engagement and the celebration of black womanhood. Many scholars and activists, like Kimberly Crenshaw, who coined the term intersectionality, emphasize that understanding individuals through their multiple identities is essential for addressing systemic inequalities. They argue that focusing solely on race or gender in isolation fails to capture the full scope of discrimination faced by those at the intersection. However, a potential challenge or alternative viewpoint could be the risk of essentializing Ava's experience, assuming that all black women share identical struggles or triumphs. While commonalities exist, individual agency, socioeconomic background, geographic location, and personality all play significant roles. There's also the controversy around identity politics, and whether focusing on specific group identities can sometimes inadvertently create divisions or overshadow universal human experiences. This foundational point connects to virtually every other aspect of Ava's story. Her career aspirations, her relationships, her health decisions, her political views, and her personal growth will all be influenced in varying degrees by her identity as a 22-year-old Black woman. It informs the lens through which she perceives the world and how the world perceives her, shaping her opportunities, her resilience, and her unique contributions. Understanding this core identity is the starting point for a nuanced and empathetic exploration of Ava's life. Educational and career aspirations refers to Ava's goals, ambitions, and plans regarding her academic pursuits and professional development. This encompasses her chosen field of study, desired degrees or certifications, and the types of jobs or careers she hopes to achieve. This point is incredibly significant because it provides a window into Ava's future trajectory and her agency in shaping her life. For a 22-year-old Black woman, these aspirations are often intertwined with overcoming systemic barriers and leveraging opportunities. Her educational and career path can directly impact her socioeconomic status, community influence, and personal fulfillment. It highlights her drive and determination in a world that may present unique challenges. For example, Ava might aspire to become a software engineer, a field where Black women are significantly underrepresented. This aspiration not only demonstrates her interest in technology, but also her potential to break barriers and inspire others. Another example could be her desire to pursue a master's in public health, aiming to address health disparities within Black communities. This illustrates a career choice driven by both personal interest and a commitment to social impact. Many experts would agree that educational and career aspirations are crucial indicators of an individual's potential for upward mobility and societal contribution. For Black women specifically, these aspirations often reflect a resilience and determination to succeed despite historical and ongoing discrimination. However, potential challenges include navigating systemic racism and sexism in educational institutions and workplaces, facing microaggressions, and encountering limited access to resources or mentorship. There can also be the pressure to choose careers that are perceived as safe or stable, rather than pursuing passions, especially when considering family responsibilities or financial constraints. An alternative viewpoint might suggest that focusing solely on aspirations overlooks the immediate realities and systemic obstacles that can derail even the most ambitious plans. Ava's educational and career aspirations connect directly to her financial stability, mental well-being, and social networks. Her pursuit of higher education or a specific career path will influence her income, the communities she engages with, and her overall sense of purpose. It also impacts her ability to support her family, contribute to her community, and serve as a role model for younger Black women. These aspirations are a foundational element in understanding her journey and the broader implications of her identity. Ava is a 22-year-old Black woman. This heading serves as the foundational demographic and identity marker for our subject, Ava. It's not just a simple statement of fact. It immediately establishes a complex intersection of age, race, and gender that will profoundly influence every aspect of her experiences, perspectives, and challenges. The significance of this point is paramount because it frames the entire narrative around Ava. Her identity as a young Black woman is not a footnote. It's the lens through which we understand her opportunities, her struggles, her triumphs, and her unique contributions. It dictates the societal structures she navigates, the stereotypes she might encounter, and the cultural richness she embodies. For example, consider the healthcare system. A 22-year-old Black woman like Ava might face specific health disparities, such as higher rates of fibroids or a greater likelihood of being dismissed by medical professionals due to implicit bias compared to her white counterparts. Another example lies in the professional world. As a young Black woman, Ava might encounter the glass ceiling, or concrete ceiling, that disproportionately affects women of color, making it harder to advance in certain industries despite her qualifications. She might also experience microaggressions or be expected to represent her entire race in professional settings. Many sociologists and critical race theorists, like Kimberly Crenshaw, emphasize the concept of intersectionality, arguing that race and gender are not separate but interwoven, creating unique experiences of discrimination and privilege. This perspective strongly supports the idea that Ava's identity as a Black woman is more than the sum of its parts. However, a potential challenge or alternative viewpoint could be the risk of essentializing Ava's experience, implying that all 22-year-old Black women are monolithic. While shared experiences exist, individual agency, socioeconomic background, geographic location, and personality also play crucial roles. It's vital to acknowledge the diversity within this demographic. Another controversy might arise from focusing too heavily on identity markers, potentially overshadowing individual achievements or universal human experiences. This foundational point connects to and influences every other aspect of Ava's story. Her age impacts her life stage. Perhaps she's in college, starting her career, or navigating early adulthood relationships. Her race and gender will shape her interactions with law enforcement, her access to education and resources, her mental health experiences, and even her cultural expressions. Understanding Ava is a 22-year-old Black woman is the essential first step to truly understanding Ava.